You had me a little scared today.
Sorry, the hair is just not hairy.
You like the counter?
It's really cool.
Have you shared it?
No, I'm doing that right now.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. I am your hashtag positively opinionated host, Dr. Marissa. And today, as you can tell from who is in my studio, it is Friday. And that is time for the Hollywood Rebel Report with myself and
Ricky Rebel, what's up?
whoop, whoop, whoop. And you all know Ricky. He's a Billboard Top 40 recording artist, as seen on tour with Britney Spears. He's been a Grammy member since 2017, part of the voting member for the Recording Academy. He was discovered by Michael Jackson, signed to his label on Sony, later signed to Madonna's record label Records, and his album Veronica. Since he's voting and anyone who's listening, who's voting, it's up for Grammy consideration in not one, but two categories: Best Pop Vocal Album and Album of the Year. It is so super duper special that this is happening. I'm so delighted for you. It's very
Thank
exciting.
you.
When do you know?
Well, we'll probably know in a few days. There's a
Oh,
few, yeah, there are a few rounds that go through. So we'll see. I did a
awesome.
campaign with some friends of mine who have done campaigns in the past, and they said that people were really responding well to the album and to the visual art. It is eye-catching, to say the least, the actual album cover itself. So
Yes,
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the work. It's raw. It's a
absolutely.
raw album, and I would love everybody, if you're listening right now, to stream it now on any platform that you choose, either Spotify or iTunes, any music streaming platform. Veronica by Ricky Rebel. Thank you.
Yes, I'm very, very, very excited. You've got your Cashew Gallery. Anthony AJ Fish is the captain of the Cashew Gallery this morning, and he certainly has your vote, or you certainly have his vote. And anyone who is listening now or later, if you could support my favorite Friday co-host, Ricky Rebel, that would be awesome.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to start with breakfast as usual, which is taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. So the top of the bun is gratitude. What are you grateful for outside of yourself? And then in the bottom of the bun, because I like it on the bottom, and it is Friday and we're going into the weekend. as I embrace some of the sexiness of your album and talk a little bit double entendre here. But the bottom of the bun is gratitude turned inward. So what do you appreciate about yourself? So that's what we do every morning on the show, because it is a show about hope and happiness. No gossip, no scandal, no K words, no Kanye talk at all, formerly or now. We do talk about Hollywood. We try to emphasize what is good instead of what usually you hear out there, which is what's wrong with it. So,
Right.
Ricky, do you want to start? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for my family. Number one, mother, father, Patrick, my cats. And I'm grateful for this mug with water so I can drink water.
You have a little internal frog this morning.
A little ribbit. Ribbit.
Yeah. I'm grateful.
And the cobwebs out.
Yeah. I forgot to get mine. And we're getting nice reaction hearts, and people are giving us the finger, not that finger, but this finger. Thank you for interacting. We just love it when people are vocal on the show, so that we can also embrace and include you. So if you have gratitudes, please do put them in the chat. If you are tuned in on the AM 1050 FM 106.5, do not put your gratitudes in the chat. Just say it to the person next to you. But when you have time and you're landed, go to my YouTube TV channel, Dr. Marissa, which is free subscribe, or Ricky Rebel's YouTube TV channel. All right. I am grateful that I had your gratitude, one of your gratitudes, your man, Patrick, on the show on Tuesday. And it was a great show. It was like a continuation of our part one that was done on this series. For those of you who are interested in understanding addiction, substance abuse, when to help, how to help, it was a great show. And you can get that on my YouTube TV channel.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for these collagen elixirs that are available on my website, rickyrebelrocks.com. I love these. It's for your hair and your skin.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
You can get it on my website, and they're delicious. They taste delicious, and they really help your skin glow, and they help your hair grow. It's amazing.
Great. So how many of those do you drink a day?
Honestly, I wish I could have 10 a day.
You're only supposed to have.
You only allowed one.
Oh.
I mean, you could do more, but you do one. And in Japan, they have these, and over here we have Diet Coke, Coke, and Pepsi options and Sprite. What are those things called on the street? I can't. I always forget. Vending machines. Their vending machines, they have collagen.
Wow.
Machines and green tea and all these healthy options.
Wow.
We should go into business and have like healthy vending machines with collagen and green tea options. Could you imagine?
That's a great idea.
How well that would do here.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We could use a partner who has, capital to invest in. That's a great idea. Yeah, and you've got your promotion machine right here. Speaking of which, before I forget, that wonderful obaji that you sent to me? Question about the daytime one. Do I need to put my moisturizer on before that, or does that already have that? I've been meaning to ask you.
That's a great question. You put on the sunscreen first.
Okay.
Before the moisturizer. The moisturizer goes on top to lock it all in.
I wanted to ask that. I am grateful for the incredible Newport Beach Film Festival that had opening night last night. Unfortunately, Ricky could not join me on the carpet, but it was amazing. As usual, it's running all week. So if you want any kind of film, delightful stuff. Also, they're recognizing Jason Alexander, a number of people. On Wednesday night, I get to introduce a film called Stuntman from Hong Kong. It's the Chinese Spotlight film. So if you used the promo code Chinese 2024, you will get a discount, my hashtag Asian Oprah giveaway, and join me in Newport Beach Film Festival. So I'm grateful I get to do that for the 6th or 7th year. I have to look that up. What else are you grateful for?
I recently went to my friend's single release party. We can show pictures of her later in the show.
Yeah.
When we recap my week, I went to her single release party in Soho House, and her name is Tori Kay, and I love her so much. And I love a lot of the people that were there. And it made me realize that I have a lot of good friends who are very talented and fun.
Aww.
So I'm grateful for my friends.
Awesome. I'm grateful that Ricky and I seem to always match here in some way or the other. We have almost exactly the same color.
Oops, color.
And the colors go perfectly.
They really do. They really look beautiful.
It's so funny how that happens. I love that. I love that.
I do too.
I love that Anthony is grateful to be alive, grateful for Ricky Rebel, grateful for his cat, and grateful for a full fridge and freezer of food. Thank you for recognizing that. We are the top either 3 or 8% in America of all the people in the world. If we have a roof over our head, food in the fridge and freezer, and a little money in the wallet, and for that, I'm kind of surprised that we have as much negativity and complaining and whining as we do. So if we have time, there's a really funny first world problems video clip that I showed at my last class at UCLA that we might get to that'll make you laugh.
Patrick always tells me that whenever I complain.
Does he?
Yeah, because I always complain about really dumb things sometimes, like social media problems or really innocuous problems that don't really matter.
I'm gonna have
to the big picture.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to rope you into my 21-day fast from complaining. See if we can do 20 consecutive days.
If anyone needs it, it's me.
Yeah. I'll give you $42. So you put in $21, and if
Really?
you manage to do it, I give you 42 packs. So that's the
I
challenge.
honestly think that's impossible for me.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but it was you.
I
Love
would need
you.
a lot more incentive to not complain. Oh man, I'm just a natural. I'm a natural.
Well, it's.
I, I'm an,
I
I'm
guess you
I'm
could
good
say
at
it's an
selling.
art form.
It's an art. Saying how you know what's on your mind and expressing yourself comes with the territory.
That's a good segue to the bottom of the bun, which is, what do you like about yourself? What do you appreciate about yourself? And for that one, for you, you're self-aware. I think that's a good quality.
Mhm.
Even the awareness sometimes is kind of funny, but I will say that I appreciate my ability to connect.
Great.
That I'm always open. I met new people last night. This is a funny story, Ricky.
Yeah.
They had some hiccups on my press badge and
Mm.
sponsorship stuff, and so I was like, oh, this is interesting, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to be able to go to some of the things that I wanted to go to. And I'm walking back to my car at the theater where the Newport Beach Film Festival opening movie was. And I walk by this car, or big car, and I hear doctor. And I'm like, and I turned, and he's like, hey, you're a doctor, right? And I said, yeah, I'm Dr. Marissa. And it turns out this guy's one of the sponsors who's going to give me some tickets, who had met me years ago
Wow.
when he heard my sister, Keiko Matsui, jazz artist. I think I've spoken about
Oh
her.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was like one of those, I keep telling you, my life is like serendipity doodah, where I just, as long as I stay not pissed and just go, I can't wait to see what good comes out of this. Boom, like Thor. I'm like the Asian Oprah Thor. And
Yeah,
it goes,
yeah.
whoosh, and there you go. So
The hammer
Wayne
comes right
Smith,
back to you.
it's amazing. So
Well,
I
I'll never forget
appreciate.
you're the only person on the planet who's ever gotten parking near the Staples Center. Right by the Staples. I have never in my life experienced that. Any human being has ever been able to do that. So she got the perfect parking spot in front. That was really cool.
Always.
You're that
All right,
girl.
Ricky, what do you like about yourself?
I like that I am friendly to people, strangers, people that I just meet. I'm a very friendly person, very warm. So I'm approachable in that way.
Yes, you are. And that's it for breakfast this morning. Thank you for joining us. We are delighted when you do that. I promise you, if you do 28 consecutive days of taking a bite of our gratitude sandwich, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. So thanks for joining us. And the topic of the day, well, before we do that, we have a question in the chat from AJ.
I love you, AJ, first of all.
Veronica CD and Veronica merch? I can't answer that, but Ricky can.
I am going to consider that. Definitely. You know what I would love? I would love to have like little Ricky Rebel dolls. I just don't know how to make them, affordably, but just really cute, like fun.
Yeah.
Ricky Rebel dolls, because I can see like a Veronica doll.
I want a bobblehead.
Yeah, a little bobblehead. Yeah, those are. I think they're definitely doable. Yeah. For merch, but definitely a CD is doable. Very, very doable.
Right now, it's a download, right?
Yeah, it's only available on music streaming platforms right now. All of the majors.
I didn't know people actually made CDs anymore, because I thought everything had changed. No?
Yeah, people do when they go on tour. We bring our CDs and whatnot. I have a lot of CDs actually. This is the only album I haven't done a CD. That's probably why Anthony's like, "Hello, I need it for my collection." So yes, I will I will get that just for you, AJ. I will get that CD
Aw.
going. And I would love to have an album, actually. Albums are really cool. I want to make an album of a few of my records. Like Wild Reality would be a great album. We have some great cover, like great art work
Mhm.
for it. The Blue Album and maybe Veronica. We'll think about it. The
He
reason
wants
why
a
I didn't do
shirt.
Veronica because I didn't do like an official shoot for it. I actually shot everything in my room like
Oh,
real quickly. It was one of those things where I just wanted to do it myself. I think dressing up the way Veronica is, it's kind of a private thing, intimate thing. And this album is very intimate, so it made sense. I'm like, I'm going to do this the way I want to and just get it out there. And then my friend took all of those photos and he turned them into such incredible artwork and like art collages and whatnot. So
that's
it's just,
awesome.
yeah, it deserves a CD.
Yeah, for sure. He wants a t-shirt, by the way. So it is a very eye-catching. Even though you did that for me so that we could show it, I can only imagine. I'm sure your assets are on there.
They are beautiful, beautiful assets I have.
Yes, that you work very diligently to have there.
It's so funny that the human body, especially on men, is considered so racy. When in the past, like Michelangelo used to sculpt men's assets and their other privates, and
That
it was
is
considered
good point.
it was considered art. But when I do it, it's considered something else, and it's interesting. And then I've seen people like Lady Gaga do it, and it's okay for Lady Gaga to do it. Nobody bats an eye. Or Miley Cyrus, or Madonna, or Rihanna, or Katy Perry, or name any of them, and they're all showing their beautiful assets off. But when a grown man does it, it's a little more shocking. Did you notice that?
No, I'm glad that you brought that up because no, I did not notice that. But now that you mention it, it is like an interesting reverse, whatever you want to call it. Because that is true, that it is not, I'm thinking of the pictures when someone's pregnant and they, cover this and it's still considered okay and not the V word or anything like that. So, I will think about that. I wonder why that is. Especially.
Imagine if Justin Bieber did what I did, for instance, what that would do to the internet. It would completely, it would blow it up.
It's true, and it wouldn't necessarily be positive.
No.
Interesting. So nakedness. We could talk about that.
We could
talk about that. I did say that we were going to talk about movies and music only because, did you see Joker yet?
I have not. I have heard so many things about it.
Yes. And so I thought we would, speak about that since that seems to be something that most people have watched. And, again, in our way, we're not going to slam people, but it's an interesting interplay between music and movies. And I thought you would have, since I know that you like to speak about and your eye is caught by Lady Gaga.
I do.
More
I
than
appreciate
more
her
than
art.
yeah. So that's one thing we're going to talk about. We can talk about anything you want to talk about too. I know AJ still wants to talk about Veronica, which is great.
The whole show will be called the Veronica Show.
Yeah. And we can do that because we do really, really want anyone who is also a voting member of the Grammys, as Ricky is, to use their vote to put him on the main list so that Ricky and I can go to the Grammys together, even though people probably actually he may not want to go, which is really, I was saying to Ricky,
go
ahead.
Who will not want to go?
Patrick,
Oh, there's no way he'll go. There's no way. Are you kidding
Was
me?
I right? Was I right? I love Patrick and
You
I love
mentioned
Ricky.
that he has an opposite personality to me. Didn't you mention that to me?
It was me. I texted you
Yeah.
after my interview with Patrick. This was our second one, but my first one without you. And he did, by the way, in his gratitude list, you were on that gratitude list. So
Aw.
just so you know that. And it was funny because after the interview, I texted Ricky and it's like, man, you guys are like completely opposite personalities. And I honestly, can you talk about how this even happened? There's a little bit, you don't have to. I didn't okay this before the show. And I don't think he's going to listen to this anyway. So, but I mean, because you're so opposite that I don't even know how it was possible. Like me getting parking spots, like to me, it's one of those, like it must have been the stars were aligned that moment for you guys to even gel, like because you're so different. That opposites attract has to be in play.
Well, in the LGBT community world, usually we meet first by doing something that I can't talk about on air.
Oh, okay.
And if it's hot enough, then you can move on to maybe a date or whatnot. Sometimes that occurs.
Oh man, I don't think my experience is allowing me to even grasp that. But my imagination.
And I'm blushing.
Oh my God, I've never seen you blush. I'm gonna have to take a screenshot right now. I'm gonna. I have to do it. This is so funny.
There's some color in my cheeks.
Oh
now.
my goodness. Natural blush.
Natural.
That's hilarious. Okay.
But
so
we did
that was
have a first date though. We did have to have a first date.
Okay. So it was
that out.
definitely a there was an attraction. It was on a physical level. Nothing wrong with that. You know, so once there was that chemistry, but I can only imagine because I asked him, like, do you know, because I said some of your posts, because we're the poster children of how we can transcend our differences on some major things and still love each other and still work together and all of that. But he said, I just don't even, I don't pay attention. I don't look at it. I don't look at, you know, your, the differences. So the things that you put out there, the way that he stays in his, you know, center and not rocked by the disagreement with things that you say or do, that's how he deals. And I think that's great. I think we're, you know, I'm learning how to do that because I wasn't like that before. Like I would have never had you on as a co-host once I discovered, you know, your politics or whatever. But I had to really look at that. Like, what am I saying if I can't embrace beyond? Because you're more than your politics. You're more than any. You're just like, as we all are, just a huge, beautiful, unique collection of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the core of who we are is love.
Yeah. It's
so
true.
why wouldn't we, you know, get along and work together and love each other?
This is the talk of our time right now. This is the discussion of our time, right here, right now.
Yeah,
it is the most important subject.
Yes.
How can we get along with each other and see that we're more than these things that you just spoke of?
Yeah,
and really take into account like the totality of what a human being is, rather than just these little sections of the human being that we may or may not disagree with. And that's kind of like how I view to take it back, to weave it back to Patrick, is like there are a lot of things that I see that we're very different on. But the things that we have in common are the things that I focus on, and the things that I really, love. Or I love who he is, period. Even the things I am not like. But it's those things that we have in common, like commitment, being committed, having integrity, being your word, trying your best, being on time. These are all the things that I was requesting in a lover, and also having he's very open, very, very open person.
Mhm. Yes.
Intellectual.
You don't have to guess. You don't have to guess.
Yeah. What you see is what you get.
He's very intelligent.
Very intelligent. That's what I was asking the universe. We were talking about, like,
Yeah.
talking to the universe, requesting things. And this is because I was so done with dating people who could not be their word, who were late, or it was just really getting on my nerves. So
Yeah. It's
none of
funny
that.
you should say that. I kicked 2 to the curb. I've been dating. So, and that was exactly it. It's like, if you say you're going to let me know by Monday,
Done.
and it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
And you haven't, yes, we're all busy. Yes, we're all whatever. And then when I confronted him, he goes, "You need to relax."
Well,
No.
I'm going to need you to be more integral with your word.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. Regardless of your intent, your impact is disrespectful. So, anyways, going back to what we all are, we're more than our politics, we're more than our viewpoints, we're more than our experience. One thing I loved about the Joker movie was, and I think even if you haven't watched it, the story behind the first Joker as well as this Joker, spoiler alert, although it's really not a spoiler alert, because that theme that, we can see Joker as the bad guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the original introduction of the Joker, the good guy was it Batman, was the good guy, and Joker was the bad guy. But he's a product of hurt people. And I love that was one of the themes, and certainly a integral theme throughout both Jokers, so that we're so quick to judge bad people, right? If you do the crime, you do the time, lock them up. That's how our prison systems become a billion-dollar industry. Are they rehabilitated? No. The percent of recidivism, I almost said it right the first time, is so high because, you've created a system where there's no incentive to heal the parts of you that got you in there the first place. So if anyone is in a position to help, I know that Kim Kardashian is now very focused on becoming a lawyer and trying to, do some changes within that system. Tonight, if you're not doing anything, my girlfriend, my satellite sister, Akuyo Graham, is doing her annual fundraiser up at Skirball. I get to go. I've driven 400 miles this week, by the way. Wow. So anyways, but at Skirball tonight, it's Spirit Awakening is a program that brings art to juvenile youth and healing through various modes. Poets have come out of there, creative artists have come out of there. Most important, kids who really believed that they were rotten, right? They were told they were rotten. They were abused as kids. They were, they have this huge protective shell that leads them to, bond together and make decisions that aren't the best for them. They end up incarcerated. And without the focus on mental health and loving yourself and love, as AJ was saying, everything, the core is love, then they will continue to be in the system.
Right.
So please do go to spiritawakening.org. Join me tonight. I'll be covering the red carpet. My big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, will be there. And I think he's going to be seeing Neil Donald Walsh, your favorite. So I will talk to him and see where he's at. He hasn't been doing a lot of, other stuff, but we'll see if we can't meet your Christmas wish is to have Neil on this show. But yeah. But anyway, so that is one thing I wanted to bring up about the Joker movie.
I brought it up. If you want to put it on screen, we could not play the audio, but maybe we can take a look at the visuals of it.
Yes. Just like how mental health was overlooked in society for centuries, if you had any anxiety, depression, or other disorders, were thrown in asylums for life instead of being cared for. Yes, absolutely, AJ. Thank you for that comment. You hit the nail on the head on that. That was a moose drop.
He had a moose drop.
Yes. This was a powerful movie. Lady Gaga. Wow. She really, if I'm honest, when she first came on the scene, I was a little like, I'm not quite sure if she rings my bells. And, but her bandwidth of talent is amazing. So I have to say that's great visual. Thank you.
Yeah, just something in the background to play.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it. It was an interesting. It did not. When I first heard that it was a musical, I thought she was going to be doing full on Lady Gaga kind of numbers. So she did one, maybe two that sounded like her, but the rest of it was very naked Lady Gaga, if I'm about to use that analogy, and you can see like her persona, the photos, the images of her. It is Lady Gaga, but it's not Lady Gaga. Does that make sense?
Yeah. When I saw Lady Gaga come onto the scene, actually in 2014, with her song Poker Face, and she had several hits coming out at that time. I knew she was an actor the moment I saw her. Like literally the moment I watched her music videos, I thought to myself, this girl is an actress. She ended up being, of course, an incredible songwriter and vocalist. But I always felt like inside of her there was an actor running the show. I was right. I first saw her in the American Horror Story. Did you see her in that?
No, I didn't even
TV
know she
show?
was in that.
Yes, she was, and she did a really good job. That's when I knew. I was like, "Yeah, you're an actor." And then she did A Star Is Born, which was great.
That I saw. That was incredible.
People
That's
love
when
that
I
film,
really,
right?
when my antenna went up with the multi, because her music itself, I'm a
2009.
Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand, Dionne Warwick kind of music vocal lover. The timbre of the voice is pure, is in and of itself. They could have nothing behind them, and it's just so incredible to listen to. Lindsay Webster, I'm sorry, I heard her at the Catalina Jazz Festival. Her manager is the same as my sister Keiko Matsui's. Her voice is like pure, like you could just like melt in butter kind of voice. So that's usually what I'm attracted to. So when Lady Gaga and I heard her voice is great, but it doesn't fall into that category. Do you know what I'm talking about? But then the colors and the costuming and the presentation and the acting is, she's not a voice. She is like Lady Gaga.
Yeah, yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. A presentation. I saw her live a few times. Um, Again, in her earlier career. Correction, Poker Face came out in 2009. Thank you, AJ, not 2014. That's how long ago that was. I saw her perform and immediately thought to myself that she is a vocalist above all things. Again, like, incredible vocalist. Now, here's the thing. I will say I have gotten really bad reviews. I've heard of Joker 2, people saying that they did not appreciate the film at all. So I'm really glad to hear that you had like a much better, or, you know, a different take on it other than what I've been hearing about this film. Like, they have really, somebody who starred in the film said it was the worst thing he's ever done. He's he's on YouTube everywhere talking. His name is Tim Dillon, comedian.
What character was he?
He was an extra in the film.
Ooh,
And he's a famous, well, not an extra. He had one line. He was one of the guards in the insane asylum. And he is a very funny person, very brash, Tim Dillon. I listen to him every now and then. And he said they were on set. This is just behind the scenes stuff. And they were looking at each other saying like, wow, this is going to be a really bad film. Like, they were just like, and he walked out of his own film, or that he was in. He's just like, this is just so bad. He said he
left as an extra.
no, meaning like, you know, when they're watching the film and
Oh, in the screening. He walked out of the screening.
I think so. I think,
Okay.
well, or you said people walked out. I can't recall.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm getting more of the vibe that you're getting from it after hearing your take on his character, the complexity of him, which we love, that idea that good is bad, bad is good sometimes, or, you know,
Mhm.
bad people have some good people have some bad. I always love that juxtaposition
I
of
love that word.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes life interesting, is like, you know,
Exactly.
it makes you think, and it makes you kind of, it reminds me of that play Wicked. Do you remember Wicked?
Oh, I love Wicked.
That's a movie that's coming out soon.
Yes, it is. And I have a great funny story about that. But we have to take a quick break because we're
Let's do
over
it.
the time for a station ID. Time to pause for news, weather, and traffic, and a word from our fabulous sponsor of this series. We'll be right back. Don't go away. In 2 and 2, which used to be Chuck Woolery's 2 and 2, but I've adopted it to peace in, peace out. Don't go away. We'll be right back on the Hollywood Rebel Report. Are you living in fear? Have technology and culture hijacked our minds and lives? Yes, fear is a natural biological response with plenty of evolutionary benefits. But has it gone too far? Find the answer to that question in the riveting book by Dr. Patrick Lockwood, The Fear Problem, available at Amazon and Mascot Books. So get your copy today.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA AM 1050 FM 106.5 NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And the station that leaves no listener behind. And I don't thank the guys at the studio enough thank you, all the guys, and they are all guys at KCAA that support this show for the last 650 consecutive weeks. But who's counting? And this is podcast show number 1250. And I just want to take a second to acknowledge that. Sometimes I forget that this is actually one of my jobs because I do it every single weekday morning, and I don't pat myself on the back enough for them because it's so much a part, but it is a lot. And yesterday when I was like, involved in the film festival, I'm like, I know I forgot to do something, and I'm Ricky's links. So I was like, oh my gosh. But let's get back to the topic because I really want to ask you about that guy who had a one-liner who was such a critic of this movie. I want to say my father, my beloved father, Dr. David Pay, who's on the other side in love, in heaven, he used to say a critic is a one-legged runner, telling you how to run. And so I don't know who this guy is, and I know he's like entertaining for you, but to me, he's the kind of person who, when people criticize me or my show, it's like, I'm happy to hear your feedback. Go and do your show, do a show yourself, and then come back to me and criticize me, because you're not at the level of Lady Gaga. You're not at the level of Joker and Joaquin. You're not there. So, balance your comments out. I'm not saying don't open your mouth, but balance your comments out.
I think,
This is my, Canadian version of
you're gonna moose chop it.
Talking about the elephant in the room. I just put the moose on the table.
Right. Well, Tim does give Lady Gaga props as a singer, as a vocalist. But he did say she can't act, and he did say that he respects Joaquin. Of course, he's like the great Joaquin. That's why. That's why his agent CAA wanted him to be in the movie in the first place. But he just saw him doing jazz hands and doing all these things, and he's like, wow, this is gonna be a bad film. And I mean, that's his opinion. So I guess it just makes me more curious to see what I would think. What I'm gonna think about it. I'm glad I have two opposing viewpoints. Like that makes me want to watch it more.
Yes.
That it's really hated and loved. I love that.
Yes.
Those are my favorite types of art. I mean,
for sure. AJ is saying in high school, every bisexual or gay male chooses a pop diva to look up to. Lady Gaga was that one for me. I like this comment. I think it went by too fast. It was kind of cute. Madonna was for Ricky growing up as Lady Gaga was for me growing up. So that's kind of cool. Because you give props there.
But there's only one queen, Madonna. There was a big controversy. Did you hear about that with Katy Perry? Speaking of Hollywood Rebel Report, Katy Perry said something about Madonna that all of the female singers should pay her homage or give Madonna thanks. And there was this big backlash because they were like, well, Beyonce doesn't have to give her thanks, and da-da-da doesn't have to give her thanks, and so and so and so and so. And I'm like, yeah, Beyonce's great, but she's not the queen.
Well, the mere fact that Madonna has done something that most artists don't do, which is she has managed to every era she has continued to create, and she transcends her era. So for that, you got to give props for sure.
And
Damn.
she's
Oh,
really
sorry.
working on something that I really love. You could put this on the screen as well.
Okay.
First of all, I know Madonna has a really, really bad points. We've talked about that before in the show. I don't think
Has a really, what was that?
she has her bad points.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's perfect? Nobody's perfect.
Who is perfect? No.
Nobody.
So People Magazine says, Katy Perry says, every female artist owes Madonna a quote, "Thank you for breaking down barriers." She says, "I'm 40. I still get to do music because of Madonna," said Perry in a new interview following the release of her latest album, 143. I agree with this in the sense that Madonna, I saw her show. She's like 65 now, really pushing the boundaries of ageism and what's acceptable for singers and performers. Are we supposed to all die after 40 years old? That's the question. And she answers that question with absolutely no, a big no.
Mm-hmm.
And not only 40, but in her 50s, 60s plus. And I just don't see any artists. We could say maybe Cher, but even Cher doesn't push the envelope as much as Madonna does in the sense of what she's wearing. She doesn't compromise what she wants to wear. She didn't say, "Is this my age? Does this fit my age?" Those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
Madonna wears what she wants to wear because she wants to wear it. And I just don't think that a lot of artists, I can't even think of any that have helped humanity in that way.
She's a symbol that you can be ageless, that you can do more than what society has put barriers on people. So for that in and of itself, like, why can't, what is so threatening about saying that she's the queen of pop? Why is
what
that?
it was, the people now to do the debate on the other side, they were saying that Grace Jones, for instance, who came before Madonna, Donna Summer, who came before Madonna, do not need to thank Madonna, is their point, which is a good point, but they're still not the queen.
I just think that
they're still not the queen.
Hullabaloo about nothing. It's like,
it was a big deal on the internet.
Homage. Well, obviously, I don't listen to that, and I don't. That's why I don't. I'm a giver on social. I don't
give love, and
nobody needs to know my opinion on stuff except when you're tuned in the show. But it's like why do we have to limit? Why can't we just go, Ella Fitzgerald was amazing, Madonna's amazing? Like, why do we have to do this one up, one down bullshit-talkie? I don't know.
It's bullshit.
I don't know. It's so much bullshit-talkie. I did meet Madonna. I loved.
Oh, you did?
I did. I was in
experience.
Portofino, and I was walking down the steps, and she was walking up the steps. And by the time I almost passed her, I went, I was Madonna. We had looked at each other, smiled, but you know how it takes a second, and I went, oh, and by that time I didn't want to. And this is, this is why some people say why I have been doing what I do as long, because I'm like, I'm not going to turn around and go, it's like recognition, props, and kudos to you. You're a human being that has really juiced your ability to make impact. And that's amazing. Same when I saw Snoop Dogg. It was like, why didn't you yell? I'm like, come on. Snoop Dogg, again, guy from Long Beach, grew up, is a symbol for being able to parlay all of his influence. And he's, he's like doing everything, and good for you. But he's still just a human being. all of us have unique talents, gifts, and abilities. Some of us are in front of camera, some of us are not. Doesn't mean you're less than, and that you need to spend half of your life yabbering about other people's lives when it really doesn't matter to you, because the time you take yabbering about everybody else and getting into fights on social is time that you don't have to hold your kid's hand, to look at someone in the eye and say, I love you, and to pinch someone's cheeks, to learn a new language, to learn a musical instrument. That time is gone if you don't use it.
Right.
So, like, is it really that important that you got to spend time?
Fighting with people? Are we talking about, that was a big moose drop, but you're talking about fighting with people on the internet, correct? Fighting back?
Yeah, I'm talking about engaging in this bullshit talky around things that you have no control over, and it really doesn't matter. Does it really matter? Does it
No,
really
no,
matter?
it does not. And Patrick has tried to teach me this. You've tried to teach me this.
because
I've gotten
it's
way
like,
better at it. I've gotten way better at it. I let it go.
Yeah.
I let it go.
Yeah.
What it is if I comment on something, okay, now if I comment on something, I'm going to get to the point where I don't even comment anymore. But I'm not there yet. I still put my little boop boop out there. If I see something that is just incredulous, I'm like, okay, boop, boop.
Yeah.
I'll say something.
Yeah.
And then I get like notification.
Exactly.
I'll push back to this idea. And so what I do is if I see the same picture, I immediately delete. You know, I know it's a comment coming from, whether it's from a positive or negative comment, it's like delete. Like I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I said what I said. I'm just going to delete the
Yeah.
incoming that I'm going to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed, because if you read it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this person has me completely wrong, doesn't understand anything I'm trying to say here. But it's like, this is wasted time.
It is.
With
It
people
is.
that don't matter. Sorry.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So don't poke the animal.
Patrick told me that too. He said, oh, so you poke the bear and then the bear bit you and clawed at you and you're upset by that.
Everybody has the right to their opinion, but then take responsibility for your opinion. Yes, we are freedom of speech, but if you're going to say something, not the brightest crayon in the box comment, I'm not talking about you, but people who put stuff out there and then get upset that they have some pushback. It's like, hello, Katy Perry was paying homage for someone who helped her.
Right.
Period. End of story. Now go and get your kid to come and in the kitchen and cook a new recipe with you.
Be with your cat.
Instead of an hour of, reacting to someone's reaction of you. Okay, I'm going to take a breath. I want to go back to Pam Given's comment here. Thank you so much. Because it is a focus. We talked about Joker. The reason why I love Joker was the focus of hurt people. And I had made a comment about spirit awakening and working with juveniles. Sending juveniles to work with animals has also shown to help both on farms and ranches. They do it with horses as well. Getting up early to take care of them. They also tend to bond with them. I love that, Pam, because what is needed is not just talk therapy, right? When people are damaged through no fault of their own, I'm one of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma. There is usefulness in talk, but most useful is feeding your spirit that you matter. And when you are responsible for animal care, or when you are given a responsibility that you can work and live up to and take responsibility for, it's a beautiful thing. And when you can access your creative side, that is all of us, that's a beautiful thing. You begin to blossom into who you really are. And all of us have that. Thank you.
That's beautiful. 4 minutes left of the show.
Oh, shoot. Already? Yes, AJ, like that. Critics hate. Yeah, I don't even look at the critics rating. I look at the audience participation. I mean,
Yeah.
audience like Eartha Kitt was doing well. Elvira, great. I want to make sure Asia's number not. Yes, thank you. We're done with comments. Final word, Ricky. What is it?
Final word, Veronica is up for 2 Grammy nominations. Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album. So please, if you're a Grammy voting member, please vote for my record, Ricky Rebel, Veronica. And if you want any more information on Ricky Rebel, my products that I'm selling, or my album, my music, whatnot, go to rickyrebelrocks.com. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. He's all over social as the same thing, at Ricky Rebel Rocks. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, my beloved Ricky, for being my co-host on this fabulous series that is on every Friday. I'm on every day of the week. You're welcome to join me all week, but make sure you come back on Friday. Make sure you vote for Album of the Year consideration, as well as pop. What's that category? Pop
Best
artist?
Best pop vocal.
Best pop vocal. That's what I wanted. All right, that's it. You know the drill, Ricky. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace
through
inner
peace.
peace. Now go and have the
best weekend
and
ever.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
Hit it. Hit it.
Hit it.
Go ahead
baby.
and play it. Yeah, hit it.
All right.
I put you up there. There we go. It's Ricky Rebel and his music video. Don't give up on me. It's fabulous.
Sick of myself, sick of the silence.
That was a great
Trying to get
show.
out, I couldn't find it. Everything I've done for me. Holding my love relentlessly. You stuck around, you knew that you shouldn't. And
I want that jacket.
It's good. It's really good.
I just want to breathe. Put your hands on me. Don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be lonely. Don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. Falling in circles again and again. I can't believe that I hurt my friend. You stuck around after all that I said, and you didn't say a word. And I can't take it back, I'm so broken about it. I can't change the past, but we're still here. And I don't wanna be another fool of cheap. I just wanna breathe. Put your hands on me. Don't wanna be lonely. I don't wanna be lonely. I don't wanna be lonely. Don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. Don't give up on Don't give up on me.